today you're going to learn some practical strategies of how to move forward from adversity to prosperity. At the end of it all, because every adversity, every hard time is for a short time, I bet you at the end of this all, you'll be glad that you went through it, because you'll come out of it better, stronger, and bigger. That's what I'm certain about. And that's why we want to share with you some few things, some few tips that will help you to move on. Thank you. Hard times are the most wonderful times in the life of every business person. But importantly too, hard times are the most innovative times as well. So what is hard time? Another word for hard time actually can be adversity, or you can call it crisis. So let's stick to these three words. So I'm going to be using these three words interchangeably. You're going to either using hard time, crisis, or adversity. But when you hear me mention either of these words, I'm saying the same thing. So what is it? What is hard time? Hard time is a period of abnormality. Hard time is actually a period of abnormality. It is hard time. It's not the usual time. It's a time that is different from what you're used to. And so you call it hard time. And you can bet with me that yes, we're going through that such time right now in our country, Nigeria. Another definition is it's a period of challenging circumstances. Hard time is the period of challenging circumstances. It's when everything is challenging. Everything is just stretching you, pulling your muscles, and it looks as if there's no tomorrow. But of course, as we push through, tomorrow will come. So that's another definition, a time of unusualness. I always say that hard time or crisis time is a time of unusualness. The things you see around this period are the unusual things. You know, for example, in a couple of weeks back, dollar went unusually. That's the record high we've ever recorded in this country. Very unusual, isn't it? We've seen quite an unusual, amazingly unusual things since the beginning of the year or towards the end of last year. And thankfully, it's coming down. It's getting back to the normal. But will it really get back to the normal? That's the desire. But that's also makes me want to say that hard times doesn't really bring us back to the actual normal. And we have to brace ourselves for that. The mistake many people do is thinking that, well, let's exercise patience, we'll soon get back to the norm. It doesn't get back to the norms. If you remember what we went through in 2020 during lockdown, we've not been able to recover from that. There are some things, principles, there are some ideas, there are some things we do that is no longer in existence again. You know, and we began to see the new normals. And so hard times ends with the new normal. So it's an unusual time. It's a time of scarceness. Things look usually a little bit scarce, and so that's why they said it's hard, because it's usually very hard to break through, because the kind of grace we have access to, the kind of favors we have access to, the kind of ease we have access to may no longer be there. So it's scarce. So it could be scarcity of water, scarcity of raw materials, scarcity of money, and God forbid in times of wartime, scarcity of peace. And so it's a period of scarceness, and it's also a period of prolonged discomfort. It's a period of a bit prolonged discomfort. But however, the longevity of the discomfort sometimes is determined by you. And that's why part of what we want to look at in this webinar today is how you can respond to it and then quickly move from hardship or adversity to prosperity. It is very possible. No matter how harsh the hard time is, you can move from adversity to prosperity. The Bible gave us a lot of examples how people move from hardship to prosperity within the same time. And it's because of some strategies that they employed. And we're going to be looking at some of those strategies here today. I haven't given us this very brief, very few definition of it. You can always give it your own definition.